If you don't start now, when will you? That is the question most men spend their whole life avoiding. Because it means confronting something uncomfortable. It demands a decision. It demands that you stop pushing your life into tomorrow, like tomorrow is guaranteed. You keep acting like time is something that will never run out. Like life will pause while you overthink or prepare. But life does not pause. The world does not stop turning because you are afraid to begin. Every day you delay, something is being taken from you. Quietly. A little confidence. A little trust in yourself. A little piece of the man you said you were going to become. And the dangerous part is that delay rarely feels like destruction. It feels reasonable. It feels like planning. But most of the time, waiting is just fear dressed in clean clothes. You say, I am thinking about it. But you have been thinking about it for months. You say, I am preparing. But preparation has become a hiding place. There is only one way forward, and you have been avoiding it. You must take action. A man does not become ready by standing outside the arena imagining the battle. He becomes ready by stepping in, feeling his heart pound, feeling the weight of uncertainty, and choosing to move anyway. That is where clarity begins. Not in the comfort of endless thought. It begins when your feet touch the path. Because from a distance, every dream looks impossible. It looks like a mountain with no road, no map, no guarantee that you will survive the climb. So you stare at it. You talk about it. You imagine the version of you who could do it. But you never take the first step. And because you never take the first step, the mountain remains a monster in your mind. This is what inaction does. It makes everything look bigger than it is. It turns one beginning into a lifetime of hesitation. But the moment you start, the dream changes shape. What once looked vague becomes specific. What once felt impossible becomes a series of problems. And problems can be handled, one at a time. You do not need to see the entire road. You need to take the next step and let the road reveal itself beneath your discipline. But you keep demanding certainty before you move. You want to know that it will work. You want to know that you will not fail. But certainty is not the reward before the work. Certainty is what grows through the work. You earn it through movement, through correction. You earn it through trying, failing, adjusting, and returning again with a sharper mind. One decision can change your life. Not because the decision is magic, but because one real decision cuts through the fog. It ends the debate. It closes other doors and narrows your focus. It says, this is who I am now. And a man who has truly decided what he wants becomes dangerous in the right way. Because he is no longer asking life for permission. He is no longer waiting for someone to open the door. He forces it open with his own strength. That is what you have to understand. The world does not need more timid people waiting for perfect conditions. It needs people who are bold enough to begin. People who build, train, and move before confidence arrives. Because confidence is not born in imagination. It is born from evidence. And evidence is built by action. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you lay another stone in the foundation of your identity. Every time you say you will do something and then actually do it, something inside you stands taller. Your mind starts to believe you again. Your word begins to carry weight again. And that matters more than motivation, Because motivation comes and goes like the weather. But self-respect, built through daily execution, becomes a kind of inner law. You stop needing to feel inspired. You stop needing a perfect mood. You do the work because the work has become part of your nature. Quietly, deliberately, without applause, without commentary. That is where real transformation happens. Not in the plan, but in the private hour where no one sees you choose the harder thing. You have to stop talking about the life you want and start building it. Words are cheap when they are not backed by sacrifice. Because words give you the feeling of movement while keeping you still. They let you enjoy the identity of someone ambitious without paying the price of becoming someone disciplined. And slowly, the dream makes you miserable. It follows you everywhere. It sits in the back of your mind. It reminds you of what you have not done. It haunts your quiet moments. Because deep down, you know the truth. You do not suffer because the dream is too big. You suffer because you have left it untouched. A dream remains heavy when it lives only in your imagination. But when you turn it into tasks, into practice, into small, daily execution, you begin to master it. You bring it down from the sky. You place it in your hands. And what your hands can touch, your discipline can shape. This is why starting matters. Starting gives form to the invisible. Starting tells fear that it is no longer in command. Fear is strongest before movement. It grows in silence. It expands in the empty space between the thought and the action. You think, I should do this, and then you wait. And in that waiting, fear builds a kingdom. It shows you every way it could go wrong. It makes the first step look dangerous. It tells you that you are not ready, not skilled or disciplined enough. But the moment you move, fear begins to shrink. Not always completely, not instantly, but enough for you to see that it was never a wall. It was a gate, and gates are meant to be crossed. Most people delay the first hour of learning longer than the learning itself would take. They spend months avoiding what one focused weekend could begin to teach them. They make the unknown sacred, untouchable, and impossible. But if they got focused and made the first attempt, they would realize the monster is beatable. You are not supposed to know everything before you begin. You begin, and then you learn. You take the step, then the path corrects you. That is how men grow. Not by standing still until they feel wise, but by entering the work humble enough to be taught by it. There is a kind of wisdom that only comes from doing difficult things. You cannot think your way into it. You have to live. You have to try. You have to let the work expose where you are weak. But that exposure is not punishment. It is a gift. Because once you can see what is wrong, you can fix it. Ask yourself honestly what you are doing wrong that you already know how to fix. The habit you keep tolerating. The distraction you keep feeding. The goal you keep pushing away because it requires you to become more focused than you have been. The answer may not be comfortable, but comfort was never a place to stay. Comfort will keep you calm while it steals your edge. Comfort will tell you that tomorrow is fine, that next year will be different. But another year does not guarantee certainty. Another year often only makes your fear louder. more time gives you more excuses, more reasons to stay where you are. And this is how lives are wasted. Not always through one great collapse, but through postponement, through days that look harmless, through mornings where nothing begins, through nights where you promise yourself tomorrow. And one day, if you are not careful, you will become the person who talks about everything he wanted to do but never did. You will become the person who has to live with the regret of not doing the things he was called to do. And that is a heavy thing to carry. The weight of an unlived life. The weight of knowing you had time, but traded it for hesitation. The weight of knowing the door was there, but you never walked through it. At the end of your life, you will not wish you had fewer stories. You will not wish you played it safer. But you will regret the risks you never took, the life you never tested, the version of yourself you never allowed to bloom. That is the nightmare. Not failure. Regret. Failure at least gives you knowledge. Failure at least proves you entered the arena. But regret just sits there, silent, unforgiving, whispering, "You should have tried." So if not now, then when? When the fear disappears? Because it will not. When the path is clear, it only becomes clear by walking. When life gets easier, life will always be hard. You are not waiting for life to begin. Life is already happening. Right now, in this season, life happens wherever you are, whether you make it or not. So stop wasting time. This is not the rehearsal. This is the life you keep postponing. Taking action to change is not about hating who you were. It is not about beating yourself for every day you wasted. It is about respecting your future enough to stop feeding your past. It is about beginning where you are, with what you have, and living with no regrets. Dream big, but start small. There is no shame in the first step being quiet. There is no shame in the beginning looking unimpressive. The seed does not apologize for being small. It just obeys the law of growth. It roots itself. It pushes through darkness. It becomes what it was designed to become by staying faithful to the process. You do not need to be perfect, but you need to move. You need to take control of the next decision, the next hour, the next action. Because the future is not built in the future. It is built in the way you handle now. And now is the only place your power has ever lived. You cannot control every outcome. You cannot control every obstacle. But you can control whether you begin. You can control whether you take one step forward or stay stuck in the same place. So stop waiting for something to happen. Make something happen. Take the step you already know is yours to take. Not tomorrow, not when your mood changes, now. Because tomorrow is not promised. And even if tomorrow comes, the man who keeps delaying today will delay tomorrow too. That is why this moment matters. This is where the chain breaks. This is where you stop being ruled by the fantasy of one day. This is where the dream stops being a thought and starts becoming a responsibility. And a man with responsibility moves differently. He no longer treats his life like something he can casually waste. He understands that his potential is not just for him. The person you become will touch lives you cannot even see yet. Your discipline may inspire someone else to rise. Your courage may open a door for someone else. So when you procrastinate, the first life you damage is your own. But it may not be the only one. There are things you are called to do that nobody else can do in your exact way. Not because you are special in a childish sense, but because your life, your pain, and your perspective can become a blessing to others if you stop hiding from the work. So ask yourself seriously, what do you want? Not what sounds impressive, not what would please everyone. What do you want? And once you know the answer, spend your life moving toward it, even if the movement is small. Because small, done daily, becomes structure. Structure becomes identity. And identity becomes destiny. That is how a life changes. Not by waiting for one perfect moment, but by honoring the imperfect moment in front of you. So, if not now, then when? The answer is not someday. The answer is not later. The answer is now. Now is where you begin. Now is where you stop talking and take the leap. And once you become the kind of person who moves, things begin to change. The road will still be hard. There will still be doubt. There will still be pressure. But you will know something he does not. You will know that movement creates clarity. You will know that fear shrinks when faced. You will know that one decision can change your life. And you will know that the man who starts now does not need to see the whole future. He only needs enough courage to honor the present. So begin, quietly, with what you have, where you are, before the year disappears, before the chance passes, before your life becomes another story of what might have been. So, if not now, then when?